proper on the May. They'll put Kilo and go over onto the Lucio. Typically, for our grand finals, they seed here today. It was a 2.
It's going to be an exciting one no matter what, as both teams kind of line up the rollout. Doors poised and primed to open.
So now let's take a look. O2 Blast are gonna run a poke comp. They're gonna run with the BAP. For some reason, BAP's pretty popular on this point in particular when you're running a ball comp. I'm not really sure why though. I can't really think of reasons. Maybe it's to maybe you can leap to high ground type of reason. Maybe it's a bit too easy to close the distance to Zen, so you run BAP instead. You still have the poke. You don't have the Harmony and Discord though. That's why I don't like. And on this map, Harmony and Discord is big because with Harmony and Discord you can influence duels far away. You can Harmony your ball here, Discord their ball here, and as they fight for point, your ball's gonna get to outvalue their ball, beat their ball, and then their ball is going to be forced back. So I think Zen's good here. Still good. Despite the fact that this, usually on this point, you run mainly Winston comps because high ground and it's a bit shorter sight lines. So both teams are going to... Now, it looks like Talon have a cleaner rollout. Which is kind of surprising because O2 Blast have the Diva, and in the rollout, this space is going to matter. This space is going to matter the most, around here. This is the major source of cover on this point. And if you have this cover, you can look to rotate your backline to a more aggressive position. You can support your monkey or ball better. You have sight lines to point and to mega, and the enemy is going to have to be able to go here or here if they want to poke you out. So this is the key source of cover, but it seems like Talon are cleaner in rolling out to mid. And that's also important because Talon are running double bubble. They want to fight short sight lines.
Going to be playing the double bubble composition. O2 Blast on Tracer, Ash, and Wolvendime on the Mercy here as well.
And Talon, they go for the... They try to clear the high ground. They try to go for Ash instead.
Ash and Wolvendime on the Mercy here as well. Kilo away from the D-Mech coming through towards Max. O2 Blast the first casualty.
Talon jumps out.
Kilo away from the D-Mech coming through towards Max. O2 Blast the
maybe he doesn't want to give too much ult charge, but...
Yeah, it's a super hot start for Talon. Now the rest of O2.
But Kellen successfully zones off 2 players here. And I guess Heesang kills Max. Diva should really be playing passively here. I'm not sure how Diva loses so much HP though. Diva's fighting for this high ground, but that's not really an important position to hold anymore, so he's just gonna take so much poke as...
Yeah, it's a super hot start for Talon. Now the rest of O2 just kind of have to sit back. Good pressure.
So I guess Max just overextended there and that cost the fight. And Kilo does die as well, so good coordination there. Ana looked for an offensive shot and got it. So good.
Well, and a finish off as well. That was the only thing O2 Blast really had there to maybe start to come back, was if Kilo could free fire down, maybe find a pick, but in the absence of that...
preferably have Max, Max should really be trying to peel, I guess. Peel this off. Poke comps are all about maintaining your space rather than trying to take it aggressively. But... Okay, now O2 Blast wants to clear the Winston, clear the Winston. They do clear the Winston. Now they have space to push in. And Talon don't really have ultimates to work with, so O2 Blast do have the room to play slow. And they're gonna engage here. This is really just, hey, we're gonna clear some angles. We're just gonna make some space for our backline to push in a bit. But
miles.
Kilo
away
doesn't
from
have good
the
positions
grab
yet.
rally, so it's kind of
So it's gonna be not that
Maybe
effective.
hoping that Talon can commit that nano and just kind of.
Now, they do have nano. They have nano. What does this mean? Start pushing. Start pushing up. Start looking to trade the backline. Now, this is a kind of marvelous by O2 Blast, though. They have their Zen. They have their Tracer. They're on a flank. And the reason they can be on this flank is because they know the dive heroes are this way. So they're going to push here. They're going to split their Zen, actually. This is good. It means their Zen can't be caught up in the dive. And it also means that they're splitting the choke and they can help Junbin engage here. Now, the counter to this strategy, though, is the backline just moves up and they're going to win the trade because they're running Winston, and Winston's better in short sight lines. And for these players to engage here, like to trade off the backline, they have to move all the way onto here. And they can just break free. They can just like round this corner or go here. And they can make this position irrelevant. They might cap point for a bit, but you're going to win the fight. But right here, it looks like their attention is 50 towards trying to engage, and their attention is 50 trying to pull point and peel. So they kite this because there's no pressure coming in. Do they even have Heesang there? Heesang's there, but their backline needs to be pushing up. But meanwhile, proper Finn and Junbin actually trade off break. So, and you see attacks looking to pressure, which weakens this backline even further. So this is a 3v2, and this might be this is like a 4v3. But here's the problem. The 4v3 like was late. It was delayed. Changing your decision here was expensive. Like, so attack isn't really in position to do anything. And so it's really a 3v3, but there's a 3v2 here, and Chorong dies because of it. So because they had changed their decision, like because attack engages late into the fight, then he's effectively zoned off from the fight. So O2 Blast are fighting a 6v5 here. They didn't decide, hey, do we want to aggressively pressure, or do we want to like poke and hold space more?
That's a little bit of a cheeky one with that back cap coming through, and also just kind of riding out the entirety of the nano boost. And now as the fight out was O2 Blast drawing first blood, just draw last blood as well. Everything tied.
So good flank by O2 Blast to the point side, to coast side, but
better yet, it's a win, and they've already.
Hey man, Ons is back and Striker has died. Ons is back? Interesting. I gotta see this. Wait, what? Huh? Oh, it's real. Finally, they got their last Infinity Stone back. Yes. Holy shit. I guess that's what Valorant does to you. You realize the grass is not greener on the other side, and then you realize, oh shit, maybe this Overwatch game isn't too bad.
By Talon Esports and O2 Blast looking pretty at the moment. In terms of
I feel like Ons can't play this week because Curry. You can 200 ping God. Never disbelieve.
Pretty at the moment. In terms of getting a free cap, they've already caught up to Talon's 33%. Now they've overtaken.
So now I saw this fight before, but let's see. So now let's look at O2 Blast. They have the tools for potential tempo engage, and tempo engage just means that like you're playing a poke comp. This comp mainly wants to poke. You have Zen, you have Ashe, you're running ball, which means you're committed to like a more pokey style. So you want to poke normally because you don't really want to brawl like on equal footing against this comp. Winston's better than ball in the trade at close range. But because you have ultimates, you will look to say, hey, I don't want to give them time to try to take space, try to close the distance, and try to win this fight. So instead, I'm just gonna pop Q, press Q, and finish the fight early. But let's see, they actually do this, but they do this the wrong way. It's the same mistake that Talon did last fight. And because they're going for a tempo engage, they want to hold this kill box. They want to engage here. So they want to have players around here to engage on this kill box. They want to have Jimbin here. And they want to have Max, Vindame, Finn here. They might look to split because they're looking to finish the fight. And they're going to have Proper on the flank. And, you know, Kilo's playing long sight lines because Ash. But they go for a tempo engage, but they don't do it right. You see? Look at where their backline's positioning. Their backline's positioning here. Which means that they don't have enough sight lines to effectively engage here. So they're committed, like they're kind of locked to engaging the back half of point. But instead, look at what happens. They engage here. They're looking to like catch this.
And actually with Vindame first out already, there's no rally option and they've lost both supports. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick two with Vindame first.
Like they're looking to catch the dive, kind of, but at the same time, they have Proper like in a position where he's looking to go here. So why aren't they popping rally, pressing W and positioning and like engaging here? That's what I'm talking about when I say Korean teams are a bit too passive. Korean teams, they'll always look to play more defensively. They'll always look to play a lot more defensively than you expect, which gives Talon space to actually close the distance. And when they catch the dive, when they try to catch the dive, guess what happens? Like, Zarya's stuck here, but on the other hand, Zarya takes control of this pivotal middle point. Like, this is like kind of a pivot point. That's why I call it pivotal. But this is like a good source of cover. So like if you engage here, but you don't have angles to engage, like to follow up on this engage, then attack safe. So they gave it too much space. That's why they want their kill box here, not like here or here. This is too open. Well, not like too open. Like this is there's not a lot of like. It's easy to poke you out first, slowly on the attack.
I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick stick.
Like this is too much cover, this is too little cover.
Favoring Talon here to close things out. Already you've got Keller moving back around towards the point, trying to just close things out, and Kilo gets that one picked up, but it will be them back in control of the point now.
Yeah, I do have Talon Esports trailing by 30-odd% here, 32% as O2 Blast failed to get most of the support ultimates online. Vindame, I believe, dies as soon as a rally is almost available. They're max on 99 as well.
Okay, so I have a question in the meantime. When is Moth coming back? I feel like there's going to be a reunion. Moth can play Mercy and Break Wall. FD God can play Lucio because FD God is good at Lucio. Probably like one of the best mechanics I've ever seen in Lucio, but all he needs is game sense, really. So, as you can see, O2 Blast, they lose the point because they were positioned pretty passively. And O2 Blast are going to rotate their Briggs End this way. And their hope is to try to use this position, try as a springboard for Junbin and Proper to take positions, and then they can look to put point pressure, force Talon back so they can brawl, or like they're just going to look to go here and try to poke them out, force them to engage, force them into a pretty four-headed engage. But instead, now Talon use their Nano. But they have ults to kind of try to win this trade. Proper kills 2. So right here I do get why they want to engage. I do get it. But if they want to do that, then this engage needs to be clean. And ideally you do it when they have like little positions to work with, and have no positions at all, which is generally early, really early into the fight. So you might hold this kill box instead of like this kill box. That's what teams like Dallas, I see, like usually do. They engage really aggressively, really early before O2 Blast even have positions to work with, and like they're gonna look to continue that engage. They're gonna look to build ults off of that big cleave damage and big like follow up damage, and then they just continue to engage. But right here they give O2 Blast this mega room. Sure, that's okay, because you do have better angles there if you're not setting up beforehand for like that engage. But where's he saying? Where's the follow-up? Where's the follow-up on Finn? Like, they should have positions to work with.
Kills on both support plays and ruin any chance of O2 holding up. Here we go, rallying straight away, and the grab should follow from Max in just a short moment.
It's already a bit of a nice...
Normally, by the way, you'd see O2 Blast like try to find the Winston and poke him out early before like rotating in. But in this case, they think they can win the trade. They have Briggs Zen ult, which is a really good defensive ult for winning backline trades. So yeah, proper like does a good grab pulse bomb combo, and they just push in. So O2 Talon did not set up that engage well, and don't mind the tracer. Like, why is Briggs Zen all the way back there? Not Brig, yeah, Brig Ana, not Briggs Zen. Why is Brig and Ana all the way back here? They should be here. They should be playing like this central pillar, and then like they can look to throw nades. Nade would have won this basically, and in this small room, nade is pretty easy to hit. And you can pop rally here and support your monkey, but they're all the way back here. So yeah, another case of we're playing too passive with our positioning when we have to play aggressive.
That's just with Talon barely on the cusp of evening up.
They're losing this fights because they're not inting enough. There, I just said it.
Under their control. Very back and forth so far, but O2 Blast at this point relatively consistently held a lead.
That's also with, just proper going off there. Talon Esports, the Nano did come on through.
So now it looks O2 Blast have only Bob and Trans to work with. So they're going to look to position more passively. They're going to position Jinbin all the way back there instead of here. And they're going to try to play him more towards poking out as they rotate onto point instead of trying to engage a choke. Because if they do engage a choke, then they're all going to be kind of jammed here, giving the perfect opportunity for a grab. They do have Trans to trade that out, but still.
Max had the grab and everything else, and O2 Blast just confirmed with their superior ultimates. Finn even holds on to Transcendence, most importantly for attacks. Next grab.
So they're going to play slowly. They're poking out ball first.
Blast swiftly took the lead in terms of control percentage again, heading over towards the 99. Talon Esports, one attempt at this, but one to have to get this flip.
Okay, so Talon, they use Primal to try to make a lot of space.
Yeah,
he goes for Ash, but he doesn't clear the Ash. That's someone else's job now. This Ash must be cleared. So otherwise, like, the backline's gonna move up, and they're just gonna get poked out from these angles. And even though there is a graph here, sure, Talon might still win this out of ultimates alone, but they have Trans to respond, first of all. But, like, if they don't mark out Kilo, or who else was not stuck in this graph, so they have these players who are ready to punish this, so it's a 3v3. So, what do? They have Monkey, like, basically 1v3ing, but I actually want Heesang to, like, sure, Pulse Bomb, Graph Pulse is great, but, and I do get why he's going for a Graph Pulse here, but if they don't clear out Proper or Kilo or Junbin, then they're gonna probably clutch this fight. So someone needs to be clearing this. I want to see Talon doing damage to either of these three. Let's see. Pathetic. I mean, gets killing Kilo, but nobody's marking out Jinbin.
Traded out as they drop attack. Losing Kilo is a bit of a tough break, but
like they trade.
The pocket, the pressure as well. The Bob still having been deployed.
And the Bob's behind them.
Up being a 2 in very quick succession with that O2 Blast at the 99. Just looking to clean up the last couple. Going to be drawing first blood.
Okay, so like, yeah, they didn't clear like any of these three, and they got punished for it hard. Look, Junbin, Proper, Max pushes in after like Ball makes space here, and the graph expires. Yeah, they win. So, they had two options here. First, they could play this slow. They engage with Nano. You have Tracer try to directly peel for the Monkey as he tries to engage. So they don't just focus Monkey 100% and nothing happens. But, like, you have to develop. You have, but you spend more time trying to poke out Jinbin first. You poke out, Kilo first, and then, like, you push in instead of just heading all the way into here. Or, second option, they can screw this high ground because, sure, this high ground's going to be harmful, but you can try to, like, send Tracer here and to kind of, like, hold this high ground for a bit. But to try to, like, hold out this high ground so it doesn't really matter as much. But you rotate coast, and you're going to be playing away from their map control instead. Ball can still try to, like, roll here and try to drop. But if you rotate far side coast, then instead of, like, a point side, then you can avoid this high ground. Both are options, but they clutch.
In the series tonight. Ends up
and sure, they do get picks.
Well as they drop attack.
Like, this represents everything. No one should be here or here. They should push high ground and then drop. They shouldn't just directly forehead onto point.
Kilo's a bit of a tough break, but should have plenty of charge in the pocket. The pressure as well, the bomb still having been deployed by Kilo, ends up being a 2 in very quick succession with that O2 blast at the 99. Just looking to clean up the last couple. Going to be drawing first blood in the series tonight.
And yeah,
a big shift in gear compared
easy
to last
peasy.
night. We'll have to see if they can...
So now we're gonna see like Sanctuary, which is a heavily map control oriented map. And there's a lot of open space to use and very wide sight lines. Like, this map is special because most maps they have they have main and 2 flanks, so they only have like 3 lanes. This map has 4, and this like side doesn't really matter unless you're fighting for dojo area, like the dojo area. But this is still like this dojo area is really valuable in point fights because you have a lot of cover here, and you can try to poke out point from here. The only problem is that this is brawly, so this is like a really short, like, small enclosed area. So if you're worried that they're gonna play brawl into this, then typically teams find it safer to just rotate here. Slightly worse position, less cover, but it's longer sight lines. You can look to punish the brawl, like, from mid. Unlike if you're going here, in which case punishing the brawl is pretty difficult. There's not a lot of cover. This is like the best area in Sanctuary, but generally, like, the team that's running more brawly of a comp is going to have more success taking this area. In this case, it's Talon, because O2 Blast have Ashe and Sigma. So teams, like, even though this map has really long sight lines, that's why some teams still prefer running brawlier comps here. I'm not talking about Rhine, because why would you run Rhine here? But I'm talking Double Bubble, for example. Or, like, you're gonna see, like, Kree. That's another example. And then maybe, in this case, Tracer Sombra.
Rotation does mean that Kellen is to the point a little bit faster,
which is better in, like, shorter sight lines.
On a slightly wider rotation does mean that Kellen is...
So Talon, they're gonna want to stack their Tracer Sombra together, because Tracer and Sombra, their goal is not really to mark space, but this comp wants to brawl, so they want to look to get into the backline as quickly as possible and go for Zen, and Kellen can go in with Develop and Heesang. But right here, let's take a look at this engage. No reason for Kellen to take poke here. And I'm not sure why he... Okay, so this flank's being marked. I'm not sure where O2 are going to go. Are they going to go here? Where's their core going to push?
Slightly wider rotation does mean that Kellen is too...
Oh, they're going to push...
both teams going to match with the Wrecking Ball.
I honestly think they... I honestly think they could push this side. They could clear out the ball pretty early. You're going to be kind of afraid of the Tracer and Sombra anyway, so you can have Tracer and Sombra help you clear this. I mean, Tracer is back here, but I think they could push Dojo here, and then they could have this really good position where Ball can engage and cover. We can look to engage this way, and then you have Tracer or Sombra either go this way or same way. Doesn't really matter as long as you get to the back line, it's fine. But they decide to go for like the other side, the cage side, instead of the Dojo side. And Kellen takes a lot of poke. It's gonna compromise your chances of winning this.
He doesn't have any clue that
Kellen does eventually get like health, but Kellen's all the way back here. So Develop and he's saying they're going to they're gonna be able to they're gonna be able to like get past them maybe, because Tracer and Sombra can get past the solo Tracer even with Discord applied on one of them, but they don't have a ball, so. So in this case, and in the process, where's he saying? Why is Proper like there?
He doesn't have any clue that's where O2 Blast was.
Proper gets discorded, but where's the counter discord? Like the disadvantage of taking this position is if the fight happens around here, you're gonna have to peek pretty aggressively just to like get discord access. Not the same with here. You can like pivot to window, put your Zen in window, try to discord anyone here. So that's why Dojo is better in my opinion. But it's different teams. They do have different strategies on this map. This map is one of the most strategically interesting maps in the game in my opinion. So they have the engage. And they get a pick off of it. But he's saying isn't marked for some reason. He's saying is able to get past. So they kill Brig. And now they just have to try to...
O2 Blast need to maybe find some kind of answer here. Proper doing his darndest. Doesn't quite get the close off, but they are keeping answer here. Proper doing his darndest. Doesn't quite get the close off, but they are keeping good presence and pressure around the point. That's actually going to allow the respawns to come back in. As I say that, Junbin taking a lot of heat is effectively out of the fight. Allow the respawns to
so now,
as I say that,
both sides are going to skirmish. They don't have Brig. O2 Blast wants to play slow.
Effectively out of the fight, even if he isn't just dead yet.
But we actually see Kellen take the flank, and it looks like they're gonna look to finish. They're gonna look to finish the fight here, but why is nobody here?
Dead yet. Talon haven't quite been able to get that point yet, but there we go. Pop is going to find Kellen. It's traded for Kilo, but this is at this point a 5v5, now 5v4.
And for some reason they clutched that, so he's saying he isn't really in the best position. He's just going down main, basically. And I don't see Develops like kind of here. What? Is that developable? That's great.
There we go.
And they're looking to provide like the pincer here, but they have someone push point. They have someone like not push point. Have someone cap point, but this is like a temporary 5v6 basically. These sight lines are scuffed.
Oh, a pop-up is going to find Kellen. It's traded for Kilo, but this is at this point a 5v5, now 5v4.
But since attack has no help there, no break packs or anything, yeah, he just overextends and dies. So Talon got the first pick, but nobody was marking Heesang or like Kellen that well. But Talon throwed us because they just put their Brig on point when their goal was to really brawl. So like they wanted to push their Brig up. Preferably like who do you have on point? Maybe Tracer, for example, because Tracer, even though you are foreheading into main, if you're going to forehand into main, at least forehead into main and cap point at the same time. So now they're going to play Brawly. They're going to play like Kree. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. But this team still has more range poke, so...
Post-fight, we have Finn looking towards the Transcendence, which is a very fast timing for the ultimate.
So he's saying they're going to be positioning in Dojo because they have the Brawlier comp, they can hold this. Like when I say Brawlier comp, I mean they have the Kree. Like, this comp is like more brawling that it wants to engage, but until like they actually set up, O2 Blast can perfectly hold this dojo fine. I kind of contradicted myself there, but that's what I mean. Until Talon pushes this out, O2 Blast do have time to do have the Kree to kind of hold this.
Ooh, that's a really important.
So now Proper gets hacked. So this, I'm not sure what's happening, but this shows like there is good coordination between Tracer and Sombra. They're working together to win this Tracer duel, and once they do win this Tracer duel, they can look to flank and engage on O2 Blast's backline. So so basically the Tracer Sombra is an unusual pick in ball comps, but the advantage is that even though like your goal ultimately it's not really to mark the enemy Tracer as much as get past the backline. So sometimes you might see like Ana instead of Zen in this type of comp because you do have the Sombra to try to like having the Zen might be a liability, but because you're running a brawler style. But how it works basically is you have your Tracer and Sombra. You have a Zen, so you do preferably want your Zen, especially if your Zen already has a good position, to Harmony Tracer and Discord the enemy Tracer, and like they're probably gonna trade. If the enemy has a Zen, they're probably gonna trade, but like how you get past the backline is you use your Sombra. Sombra's really good like in this matchup. Oh, I shouldn't write Sombra here. Tracer plus maybe Ball, Tracer, and then we have Ball, maybe plus Tracer plus Sombra. But like generally Ball Tracer's job against Ball Tracer Sombra is to try to mark them out, prevent them from like going into your backline, so your range DPS can do work on the other flank. Anyways, oh, this is the wrong team. This, but your job basically is going to be like, hey, we're going to stack our Tracer and Sombra together, and Sombra's really good against Tracer and Ball, obviously, like alone in the vacuum. So you're going to have Tracer and Sombra stacked together, and the Ball and Tracer on their side will want to like spy check around the Tracer before like entering the duel. But like if they don't get caught, if the Sombra doesn't get caught, then Sombra can uncloak, hack the Ball, or at least poke out the Ball and Tracer and win this duel and eventually make it to like the backline. But this is like a matter of like, hey, can you do this cleanly? Because even if you do succeed, if it takes too much time, the enemy's range poke is just gonna shine more, especially if you're running Ana instead of Zen.
Ooh, that's a really important pick up there. Jelancy and Chorong just kind of marking.
So I think this is like there is a Sombra assist because of hack, but this is probably good in like coordination. So yeah.
It is, although who gets
and now he's saying should.
That being beside the point.
They killed a Tracer, so instead of like foreheading down point like this, I think you should actually look to take the flank, stage here, and then go behind. Like when you clear the Tracer, you clear like one of the players who can mark you out of a flank, so you can look to go more aggressively. But instead, he just goes main.
For what it's worth, but that being beside the point, O2 Blast still in control here, but a man down. It's Transcendence pops. Yeah, they're trying to pick something up where they got an opportunity, but no such luck.
He's saying let's get a pulse bomb though.
Pulse bomb. They've got Gunman's minefield, but at this point, I think he'd be a bit fool.
So, despite he's saying they do use ultimates, but despite he's saying being a bit mainy, like a bit foreheading down main, they do win. Ultimates are powerful. Now, Talon do have ultimates. They want to set up for an aggressive initiation. No fear, just go in. It's O2 Blast's job to clear this, and you can just EMP like quickly so they can't. That's what tempo engage is. You go in quickly.
EMP from developers, no defense whatsoever. Vindheim's going to have to pre-rally this one pretty quickly if they're expecting to get EMP'd, and here it is.
But O2 Blast get the first engage, and they pop the rally.
Try and go for an EMP immediately.
So 2 ultimates already got out before the EMP even happened. That's bad.
He's got the
And they graph, but they turned this like pretty much really good fight into a trade.
He's got the opportunity. Fins are really low, but they've already lost one before this happens. The EMP.
And in any backline trade, despite the EMP, in any backline trade, the team that rallies is going to get a huge advantage defensively.
I don't even know if that caught anyone.
No,
he certainly caught his death out there. That is an absolute unmitigated disaster.
And that's what the grab as well, and all O2 Blast really had defensively was going over towards the rally, so they got the extra armor. Vindim's timing with
Like the enemy of this Talon is in this fight is rallying. Like, look, Jinbin gets engaged behind. Jinbin even arrives all the way here, while Kellen is still stuck in main here. So they already have the map control advantage on the attack. Like just a few seconds in the attack, we already have O2 Blast taking proper positions. Yes. Funny, but Talon, they have scuffed positions, so, and they have the EMP, but they have scuffed positions, and they just allow to trade while the rally's happening. Rally is really powerful. You don't want them to pop rally.
I don't know if that caught anyone. He certainly caught his death out there. That is
rally is honestly one of the best ults in the game. It's way too powerful. And like, it's one of the reasons why, other than like heal packs, Break is still relevant after 26 nerfs, roughly. Because Break is just too powerful at like, her ultimate is just too powerful. Like, Mercy's also pretty good. Mercy's also really good, but Mercy doesn't have rally. That's a disadvantage, literally. So now Jinbin's going to. They have like the point, but they have like Kellen and Heesang behind, but he doesn't want to get hacked. Why did he power drive? He just needs to mark out this ball. He just needs to like stay grounded, mark out this ball, but don't power drive. Stay in ball form. Stay in like crab form or rolly form, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. But Jinbin gets hacked because of that power drive, and yeah, big mistake.
Otherwise, it was going to be a final fight, even indeed. O2 Blast with ultimate advantage instead. Talon at least coming in.
And now they engage.
Shines on them. That's already a pulse bomb. Actually, 2 either way is going to be both Zenyatta.
Zens are traded, but obviously they have a ball. O2 doesn't, so.
Taking the L on this one, they pushed it to 90.
So they just. But let's see what Heesang does. So they get a pick on ball, and that's one less player that can mark them. So Develop and Heesang actually again wants to take the flanks and then look to engage. They don't want to press W. That's not how you win a 6v5. You take the space that getting the elimination vacates, and then like you go and. For example, if you killed a Sigma, then you might look to push your off tank up. But since they pushed the ball, they want to like have that. They want to have the action on the flanks first before pushing in, and they do that. So
Talon are 4 ways behind in percentage. So O2 Blast, they only have to pick up the 1 fight to win this map.
Talon do have no ultimates to work with.
Had to fight 5v6 while Jinbin was coming back in. Traded Zenyatta's, but overall Talon got the extra kills. Kellen was there, Heesang confirmed it. And now an opportunity for Talon to build up the next EMP. They're not out of this one just yet again.
Now the High Noon's an opportunity to take space. So they're gonna rotate here. They're gonna rotate Cage instead of Drum Room or Dojo, interchangeable. Now I would honestly prefer them to rotate to Dojo here, because if you rotate to Dojo, then like Tracer and Sombra, you're in this small sight line. Bit scary against Tracer and Sombra, but you do have Creed. But on the other hand, this Dojo is really good at enabling poke ults like High Noon, because from here you have a bit of cover to use. But like you do have pretty wide sight lines. Setting up here is also okay, but there's just more ways to look to outflank and punish you.
But to go on to what could be a favored sub map as well.
So they engage here, they do the tempo engage. Interesting, High Noon.
Huh?
Did he think he can clear mines? What?
Responding with a Deadeye, but no one's in range.
Yeah.
The mine's out.
What?
Kilo.
What the fuck?
Deadeye, but no one's in range.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Okay, so Finn kills Vigilante.
Talon with the mines out. Kilo.
Gets discorded? Oh, unfortunate.
No one's in range.
So they killed a Zen. What now? This is probably just a good 1v1 like play, but what now? So what they want to do is they actually want to look to Harmony, Discord. They want to use their Zen as much as possible. They want to like what's it called? They want to emphasize the fact that they have a Zen. So they want Harmony in Discord, force out Heesang, force out Kellen, and then engage. Finish the fight 6v5. That's how you take advantage. And aside from the fact you do have Jinbin, they trade Jinbin. So Jinbin gets hacked again. Jinbin really needs to be careful about this.
Zoning Deadeye, who's to say, but it's a 1-for-1 so far. Losing Vigilante is a tough break though, because that's no Transcendence when Finn's just about to have his. That could be all the difference, especially with attack already down. Now the tempo Transcendence. They want to close this one out. It is a better EMP, but the Transcendence is there anyway, so what does it even matter? Pulse Bomb gets scooped up by Max as well. It's going from bad to worse for Talon now as they lose 2 in quick. Pulse Bomb, they want to close this one out. It is a better EMP, but the Transcendence is there anyway, so what does it even matter? Pulse Bomb gets scooped up by Max as well. It's going from bad to worse for Talon now as they lose 2 in quick.
And so let's see. So they Kilo gets attacked.
They want to close that could be all the difference, especially with attack already.
So they trade main tank for off tank. They get the EMP, but
they want to close this one out. That could be all the difference, especially.
Mistime slam. Like that slam could have been 2 seconds later. And the trans gets out, so it was a useless EMP. And Max just pushes in because like Jinbin is already back because Ball, but Talon, like they messed up that big time. So yeah, the Zen pick snowballed. They snowballed here. And yeah, easy